We have officially made it to our third week of Whole30, and I have to admit I am not feeling as confident going into this week as I did last week. Last week was a bit of a tough one. I don't know if it's because I was more doing my own thing and not following their plan that they laid out for us, but I just felt like I was cooking all the time and dishes were piling up, and I guess there was other things going on in my life too. The first week of my daughter's swim class, my son wasn't napping well and I was stressing out about that. So I went into the weekend feeling exhausted, and then yesterday my meals kind of fell apart because the lamb that I thought of preparing that day had spoiled. This is the third or fourth time that meat that I've gotten just a week ago from Publix has gone bad, so that's pretty frustrating. I do need to go and talk to them about, hey, I keep buying stuff for you. It's before the sell by date. I come shopping every week. It's not like it's in there for 2 or 3 weeks and going bad. It's like 5 days later, I keep it under refrigeration, something's going on. Usually I just toss it, but I had planned to have braised lamb shoulder yesterday for dinner, and we did eat a bit of it, but it's just the taste was off and didn't want to risk getting sick. But anyway, so that had been planned for my lunch today, and you know, I'm in a space, I think, where, especially because my son is struggling with napping and I just want him to get better and get the rest he needs, where I feel like really type A and really wanting to control and have things work out, and I plan, and plans go out the window when you're just a human, I guess. I was gonna say when you're a parent, but just a human. And so forced flexibility and forced adaptation have been some things going on. And then but today is a new day, and I'm currently making chicken chowder. So that has chicken thighs with kind of a Mexican spice, cumin, cayenne, and paprika, and sweet potatoes, broccoli, coconut milk is the base. And that's going well. But I am not going into the week as planned out or with all my grocery shopping done, so that I don't have to kind of figure things out on the way. And that makes me feel uncomfortable, but we'll see how things go with being in that space of planning just 3 days out instead of for the whole week. Now, I'm also just making that shift, I think, in general. I'm gonna go grocery shopping, I think, 2 times a week instead of just trying to knock it out in one night a week. So that there goes another evening, but that's so that I can hopefully keep fresh meat and not have to deal with the having something for a week and it goes sour. So small adjustments and trying to be flexible, but we get stuck in our plan, and I don't want to say we, I can get stuck to my plan, and I can feel that left brain rigidity kicking in, and it does make things difficult. Bless my husband for just rolling with the punches and being like, all right, this is what you're stuck on right now. He gets stuck on his own stuff that I am also roll with the punches on, so I think we're even in that aspect. But we are going into week 3. I am doing all right with cravings. I do miss bread. I'd like to, have bread, but I'm not missing a lot of other things. I was actually at the zoo yesterday, and that made me start thinking about the foods that are offered to our children specifically. Let's see, what are the offerings at the zoo? We have cotton candy, pretzels. They have some decent, we got a thing of fresh fruit when we were at the farmer's market that happens right out on the zoo. I have to set my timer. Let's see. But in the zoo, not great options. A kind of fair food style, Dippin' Dots. All things that are tasty and fun, but you think about the fact that a zoo is really targeted at children, and the habits we're building for kids. It's a little sad. Now they do actually have, but you have to go all the way to the Amazon section, a really great little grill, and it has just like roast chicken and plantains and rice and beans. So that feels like a better thing to offer. We found that last time we went to the zoo. But rice and beans are out for Whole30, so we couldn't go there. What we actually ended up doing was making sure we took meals for ourselves in Tupperware in the event that we were there a bit longer. Just heating them ahead of time, putting them in our little hot cold container things, and planning that we would just eat what we brought, which fortunately you can do that at the zoo. So you can pack your whole lunch for the kids and snacks for the kids and not have to, one, spend additional money there. Even though the zoo food pricing isn't terrible, nowhere near as bad as Christmas Wonderland was here. That was ridiculous. It was like $15 for a hot dog. But yeah, just thinking about that. And then also going to the grocery store and thinking about when you have the restrictions on your diet: no dairy, no grains, no sugar, no alcohol, no legumes. A lot of things at the grocery store are out. And then there's a lot of things that call to me at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, nope, can't get that. That's out. But realizing how many things that do call to me are not necessarily best for me. Not necessarily labeling foods good or bad, but when I think about nutritional value and whether it's a whole food or not, noticing the trends of the things that I crave and that I want. Like, I really just want some dark chocolate, I think. I actually think once the plan ends, well, my first reintroduction is probably going to be dairy, because I would like a latte. I'd like to treat myself to a latte. And then I also want to I made plantain chips, and I think it'd be really tasty to make those same plantain chips again and drizzle them in dark chocolate. So that sounds like a good plan for reintroduction so far. But yeah, I don't really have much planned this week. I'm making this chicken chowder. It should last for 2 days. So we'll have it for dinner for 2 days, and maybe a small breakfast, or part of a small breakfast one final day. It does make quite a bit. And then I have a chili planned that I'll probably cook tomorrow, just to keep variety, so we can bounce between the chowder and the chili for a few days. I still have to figure out breakfast and also the rest of the week, but I needed to go to bed early yesterday and the day before. Was running on E a little bit, and a big part of self-care for me as a parent is like going to bed early when I need to. There's the tension and the desire to stay up late and do more and push, and I can push to a certain extent, but I found myself bottoming out and just being, again, like really rigid, which tells me that I just didn't have the reserves for flexibility. And it happens, and hopefully I'll be on the up and up as this week comes, and the, what they call it, tiger blood of the Whole30 comes through. I will say, even though I'm feeling less prepared and feeling a bit, I wouldn't exactly say overwhelmed by the cooking and the cleanup, I'm still enjoying the program and the process, and am talking it up to friends and family. I think everyone could benefit from a dietary reset, and hopefully I'll be able to convince some folks once I'm finished with it that they too can do it, or at least give it a try. I think a couple people in my life are interested in it, so hopefully they get on board and try as well. So there's that. Now, next week it will be I guess we're just over halfway, so that means I think my last day is February 2nd, and After that, as I spoke of, we go into the reintroduction phase. We will be, I'm stirring this stew. Actually, we will be introducing things. Like I said, I'd like to do dairy first, but you can reintroduce whatever you want first. You can choose to do a quick reintroduction, or you can choose to reintroduce things as you see fit, and kind of according to your lifestyle. So if you're like, oh no, I don't need to go completely back on. Let's see, remove this from the heat. And I'm looking forward to that, and just kind of building that custom diet that is ultimately the end goal of all of this, of what bothers you, what doesn't, and then you can still enjoy the things that don't bother you. Or if you find something that does bother you and you still want to enjoy it, you can enjoy it in moderation, just knowing what your symptoms might be. Yeah, so that's something exciting to look for. I also can't believe that we are nearly halfway, or we're over halfway through January. Wow. This year is already kicking. So here is what I've been cooking. So we've got our roast chicken and sweet potatoes, and then also that is the cream base with the coconut milk. Hopefully it turns out well. I did double the spices, or not the spices, the seasonings. I tend to find that the cookbook doesn't have strong enough flavor for me, so I've been doubling the amount. I doubled the amount of cumin and paprika, just to give that stronger flavor profile that I like. And I feel confident enough as a cook that I'm able to make some modifications on the go. But I think it'll turn out well this time. I made it once by the book, and now I'm making these modifications this time. So here we go. Week 3 will be in the books soon enough. And before I know it, I'll be on the other end of the Whole30.